MedX AirOne, rural Northern Nevada's local emergency air medical provider. We have more assets in Northern Nevada than any other provider, including helicopters, planes, and ambulances. MedX AirOne was founded by a Nevada resident who believed the high cost of emergency air medical transport should not affect a patient in need of critical care. Request us by name. Just say, "Transport me by MedX AirOne."
So my story's unique. I did construction before I was a nurse, and younger brother, had abdominal pain, so we ended up in the ER, and he had a guy for a nurse, and it was kind of like, the bells were going off, and I asked that guy about his experience and job, and my mom was a nurse, and she called me the next day and suggested nursing school, and I signed up the following Monday, spent a bunch of money without knowing if I'd like it or not, and here I am, 12 years later. Here today, I'm in Elko with the crews. I can run to the hospital and help them if they need an extra set of hands, or if somebody doesn't have a coat, I can get them a coat. Every day is different, and that's really kind of one of the enjoyable parts about it is I get to do so much. We're a great resource for the community. I've personally seen this grow over the last 5 years. We're able to sort of bring the hospital to you, or bring the ICU to you, basically, and initiate a level of care that is really quite high, almost immediately, and then hopefully make some progress with people, while we're transporting them.
We're here to serve the community, and that means going the extra mile and doing a little more.
I have been a nurse since 1993. In May will be 28 years since. Not really sure how I ended up as a nurse. It just knew I needed to go back to school, and ended up starting some night classes, and then next thing you know, I'm enrolled in a nursing program. My mom was a nurse, 40 years for her, so ended up following her footsteps, not really expecting to, and there you have it. I started in education, I think, because I just have a knack for all the way back in the beginning days of nursing, when I started out working in an ICU and then helping other people understand a concept or why we're doing a certain thing. And I developed a knack pretty early in my career on how to break that down, simplify it a little bit to try to get a wide majority of people to understand exactly what are we trying to do here, what are we trying to accomplish. But we've also identified a huge need with the local communities in Northern Nevada, in the local hospitals, and all of those EMS and nurses, and that there's a huge hole here for education in Northern Nevada. So very blessed to work for a company like MedX that employs me and encourages me to go out and identify these individuals that do need education, be it at the local hospital here in Elko or in Battle Mountain or Winnemucca.
Our nurses all have a passion for patient care in common. Passion to serve, to learn, to work. We're working to save lives.
So I've been a nurse for 12 years. I started in critical care. I have always worked in critical care. As a new grad, I started on CIC at Renown and worked there for 4 years before coming and moving over here to the Elko area. Nurses are everything, especially in our rural area. We don't have a lot of capacity for support staff, so the ER nurses and MedX interact on a daily basis. Every time we have a transfer that goes out, a patient that needs to go to a higher level of care, whether that be that they're transferring to Utah, they're transferring to Reno, they're transferring to St. Luke's, or wherever they need to transfer to, our dispatch initially goes through MedX anyways, and so that's who we initially contact as MedX dispatch. Not only that, but Randall is huge to us as well. Randall's big helping me out with continuing education with my staff and making sure that they have that education provided to them, and Randall's been a huge part of that. So,
why did I want to become a nurse? That's a very good question. I think from a young age I knew that I wanted to go into the healthcare field, and I don't think I knew exactly what I wanted to do until I was in college. I remember taking a human anatomy course and being fascinated by the human body and medicine and how everything interacts with each other. And I shortly after job shadowed a couple doctors, nurses, And I realized that nursing was probably more my calling. It had the right combination of medicine, science, and then human interaction and caring. And so I think that's really what solidified it for me, and I am very happy with my decision. So I am an ER nurse by trade. I started off in the ER as a new graduate nurse. It's all I've ever known for the most part. And it's a busy place. I've worked in a couple of ERs, and everywhere I've worked, it's nonstop for 12 hours. You get to see some sick patients and help a lot of people, and it's the most rewarding career path I think I could have ever chosen. ER nursing and flight nursing, I actually, when I first started, thought that they were more similar than I have come to realize. So it is different in the fact that you're dealing with people who are really riding on that line of life and death, and you're making those critical decisions and making sure that you're doing what needs to get done in order to safely get them to where they need to go. And I think that's my favorite part of being a flight nurse, is just really being involved in that patient care and knowing that I personally am making a difference in those patients' lives.
To all our nurses out there, no matter what they're doing, thank you for serving. MedX AirOne, rural Northern Nevada's local emergency air medical provider.